Alrighty, Doc here from North America. It is TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere. All our people on Earth. All right, we're starting to stream. Oh, you know what we need to do is get that. Get that one going. Let's see. Should have started that before. I just realized that. Boy, the dollar took a nice hit there at the end of the day on Friday. I thought that was kind of interesting. You can see the dollar index right there. And let's see what we do here. Let's get this going too. And let's get to that. There we go. Oh, there's an interesting one. Plane passengers film shape-shifting UFO hovering thousands of feet above. And what it really is just a plasma disturbance. Yeah, that's what it is. There we go. Minimize that. Get over to Dow. Now there's the DAX this morning. I was looking at that. We've been watching that. Giannis likes to follow that. He's out and about right now, keeping his head down, which is a good thing. And you can see right here that big triangle we looked at a long time ago when he started looking at the DAX with us a couple months ago, I guess you could say. Is well, what's interesting is that one has done that instead. That's the interesting one. The bottom one seems to be holding up so much better. Like so, like that. Actually, that needs to be tilted just a little bit right there. There's the DAX. All right, let's get over to the dollar index itself. Like I said, it was an interesting move on Friday after Europe was closed and adult beverages were being poured in everywhere along the planet. And then finally, the afternoon, America shut down, for the weekend. And next thing you know is as they did that, they were also taking the dollar index right there on Chicago Quant down. Look at that nice big dip. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. That's something, huh? Oh, let's get the chat line up, too. Last Monday, we were busy. My goodness. Busy, busy, busy. It was fantastic. I was so excited. It was like a really dynamic day of questions and or webinar dynamic activity. It was wonderful. I don't know what drove it, but I was so happy about it. Let me see. Let's skip that right there. And so I see no questions so far. So I'm just going to go through the same old basic rhythm. And if I see something that jumps out, I'll just mention it. But I would be much more happier to go look at anything and everything else that everybody likes to watch. So there's the dollar index right there. You can see that little smackdown on Friday. And you can see the slow stochastic was at 40. Looks like it's about 40, yeah, 40 and change, 40 and a half. And the fast is down to 22. What a big difference that is, some pressure. Now, you can see here we slid into the sell on Friday also right there. And we've been in that weekly sell since here. It just refuses to give a blessing for strength. So in other words, from this point on, it said, just don't be short. Don't be long. Just don't be short. That's what it was trying to tell us. Since it's in the overall longer term trend of week upon week, it's been in a sell since here. You can see the fast broke down there, and then the slow joined in at the end of the week and found a new low a couple times out of that, and then we got into a daily buy, and then it tried to gap down again on a sell right there, and then it popped back up, and stopped us out. That's a loss there because it was a sell. And then it went into a buy and kept us safe from being more beat up than usual. And that's just the way it goes. That's the way our math always does. It keeps us from getting beat up as the rest of the traders in the world get beat up, stopped out, and so forth, whereas our math keeps us pretty honest and sets it up to gain the loss and then some. More wins than losses all the time. 8.5 out of 10 times. For over 40 years in some products because that's how far back we went, and sometimes it goes back as far as 90 years in the Dow, and then from there we go into a scientific side. It shows us the historical success of the math for thousands and millions of years. All right. Now, from there, let's see, can I say anything else about the dollar index? I guess not much. Let's take a look at it on a weekly, since no one's asking a question. Just put a gummy bear in my mouth. All right, there you go. Yeah, see, there's the weekly. Fifth week now. And the slow is at 26. And the fast is trying to lift up to 27. And as you notice, our green is turning up, but our fast is still dipped underneath. He tried to go up there and kiss it on Friday, but it said, no thank you. And so that pressure still on the dollar index. All right. From there, we'll go over to the euro. The moment I saw that on the dollar index, I thought, ooh, wonder what the euro looks like. Let's see. Euro on the wall. Right there. There we go. So they popped that up. You can see that. The slow is trading at 77. The fast is trading at 78. And it's been in the daily buy now for, I think, a few days, because it took a while for this to catch up to that. So like on, let's see if we can identify it. Let's make it bigger for a second, since it's just us. Oh, that's a weekly. Okay, so yeah, but let's take a look at it anyway. So, let's see. There is what price tag is that? I wonder if I can move that down. Yeah, that's better. What happens if I hit that? Maximize? Whoa! Unmaximize. Let's see. Right there is 79, maybe? I can't tell. I can't tell there either. It's kind of tight. 77. Oh, it is in a plus. That's without a doubt now. We know that much because we can see it right here. Now let's go over to Chicago Quad and put it up over there. There it is right there. Now that's the ES. There it is right there. There's the euro. You see they they ran it up strong on Friday, the same thing. It's been in that weekly buy right there. So, every time it tries to get into a daily buy, which it did right there and failed at it. It did make money, but by the end of the day it gave it up and pushed it back into the sell, warning it not to be long. And then we didn't get into another buy until right here again. And again, did it even take out Friday's high? It may be a loss. Let's see. The Friday high is 109.73, and today's high is 109.73. So, no, didn't even take out Friday's high. We'll see. Maybe this is just a little consolidation and then another move on the upside there. I think there was a great amount of confusion and undecided, undeciding, conviction. I'm trying to find the right words to describe it correctly, but end result is with the way interest rates are and with the way the Fed speaks, they feel that there's going to be another 0.25% interest rate increase. And it was fascinating to see this jump up when that's coming, but it did, and everybody else did it too. So let's also open up Dukascopy Day right there, and there it is right there. Okay, now, so there's the euro, and it's been in that buy, just like the dollar index being in the sell. Let's just show you to you again here. Right there. There you go. It's been in that cell since back here. Uh, I want to, my off the cuff, like my general opinion at the moment is it's the summer. It's going to be sloppy. There's going to be a good move here or there. There's one right there, but will we be able to capture them? The math gets really dicey going into the third week of July to the second week of August. It can get really slowy. It can get really sloppy because it gets slow. It gets really, really slow. Money just decides not to commit at the moment. They say it's the summer. Let's watch for a couple of weeks. Everybody's due vacation. We'll monitor it every day, and let's not push it too hard. Now, from there, we'll go over to the cable. And there is the cable. And as you can see, it did the same thing. It popped on Friday and is giving it pretty much almost most of it all the way back. It's been in the daily buy, so it caught the ride right off. So that was the winner chicken dinner. And as you can see, the cable's been much smoother than the euro. And there's no doubt that the euro is having lots of decisions to be made, and when decisions have to be made, that means money gets nervous. Money does not like change, unless it's really good change. And when it's not clear change, like it's okay, something's going to change in taxes, or something's going to get changed in spending. What? I don't know. Well, then what happens? Money goes and hides. It sits to the side until it has a clearer picture of what's going on. So bond traders and currency traders and stock traders and commodity traders will do that. They'll go stand to the side. They'll wait a couple weeks. All right. And so from the cable, let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And there's the cable. It's been in the buy on a weekly basis for a while, just like our work over here. What can we say? That this week, as it's starting off, we see the green line take a nice dip. That's the slow algorithm, and it's smoothed by a stochastic, but it's still a different math. And only has a percentage of the stochastic in it. And at the same time, you can see the fast is like bouncing off of bounced off the zero line there, and it's trying to turn up a little bit. We'll see. And we'll see when the daily finally turns and rolls over. Now, let's take a look at it on a daily basis here. And there it is there, daily basis with strength. And you can see the fast has, on Chicago, on J4X, the fast stochastic has dropped it to 72.3. And the fast is running at 76.5. So it's showing that weakness. It's trying to tell us that they're taking it slow and steady. Now, the cable's been very fascinating. I always think it's undervalued to begin with, whereas the euro doesn't float my boat either way. I mean, you've got the north-south divide, and then you have the eastern divide. Whereas the northeastern part of Europe is practicing capitalism at its best, and then the northwest, I guess you could say, is practicing modern socialism of some form or another. Government influence all the time. And in the south, you're talking about the southern. They call them the southern poor states. Starting off from, I guess it's hard to say if you'd call France that, but you would call Italy and Spain and Portugal and Greece and I guess some of the Baltic sides of it. I guess somewhere along the line they always say that they pull the what do they call it? They pull the euro down, whereas the north helps the euro or keeps it high. In other words, there's been calculations that the euro would be better if it was like in the 60s and 70s for Greece and Spain and so forth. And for Germany, they'd like it to be like 140, 150. And Europe, and then you have Romania, and not Romania as much as Bulgaria and Hungary, and Slovakia and Czech Republic and Poland and Lithuania and Latvia and so forth, showing that they're doing just fine, because they try to practice more capitalism, not socialism. So it's they talk about the poor South and the rich North. That's what they call it. Yeah, kind of interesting. We don't have that situation as much, but we can break it down. I saw a statistic in the United States that showed our South, because they're very capitalist and less government orientated in the states down there, producing like 3 times more than the northern states. And the northern states are more bluish or socialist, and so every time you get the socialism thing, you get weaker economy and less growth and things like that, unfortunately. But that's the way life goes. One size never fits all, except for those in the blue states that think it does. Sip of the tea. Now, from the cable, we'll slide over to the Swiss. Right there. And there's the Swiss. We do, and we keep on suggesting that the Swiss is pretty much locked into this low end of the range. A little bit firmer than I was expecting, of course, of late. Let's see if we can get this thing to spin and organize it right. There it is. So you can see, it's been locked down in the 88s to the 91s, 92s, that type of thing. Coming from the 101 area no more than 6 months ago, which is pretty wild, November and December. Well, November. So it's now 7 months now. From there, we put it up over on J4X. Right there. And you see here the second day in a sell. Just like here in Chicago Quant, we're on a third day of sell. Yes, they see all of them. All the pairs trades are reflecting it very clearly. That Friday move was, maybe it was a lack of people around. I don't know. I mean, maybe the Federal Reserves weren't paying attention at the time because it was late. Let's see when it happened. We have the euro on an hourly basis. Let's see if we can find out when it did that on Friday. Oh, that's a 3-minute chart. Yeah, all right, so that's good. Yeah, normally it's a 1 hour chart, but let's go back 3 days. There we go. Let's take a look at Friday and when it all happened. There's today. Okay, so it jumped, I guess, after all the economic news. That's what it was right there. That was when the labor numbers came out, and there was serious talk of raising rates and so forth again. And what did it do? Instead of falling, it rallied on it because no one believed it. That's the only way you can describe that. In other words, imagine if someone told you you can only have one slice of pizza, and then they put in front of you one slice, but they put in front of you 3 pizzas. And you eat your pizza, and then you go, well, what about these other 2 pizzas and 7 slices? And they go, well, yeah, you want some, you can have some. It doesn't make any sense, because basically they insinuated that we were going to see, we were going to see, what's the best way to describe it? We were going to see an increase. Matter of fact, the bond market is telling us that it wants to go to. They're going to try to put it. It's a 9 out of 10 chance, or actually 0.89 out of 10, that they're going to raise rates in the next meeting. That's what the market is telling us. And at the same time, the market is looking down the road beyond that and saying, well, good. So they're going to raise it another quarter or a half overall over the next 6 months. So let's not worry about it too much. And we could see that the strength in the economy was so, they took a look at the stats. Let's see if we can put it up here again. This came out, and they looked at it and they went, wow, most of those jobs are government jobs. So maybe we're not really growing, and they basically said, no worries. America's not taking off, and they're not going to raise rates. Now you can see it's been leaking ever since that. And let's see if we can go back to the beginning of that blast off. There it is there. We're looking, and let's put a line in there just to show you. Just to show the relationship right there. Something like that. That's good like that. We'll make it yellow. Or gold or something like that. Let's make it solid, actually. This way we can make it fat. Fat, fat, fat. Like that. Okay, so that's where the news comes out. And you see this massive leap up into the 109.30s area. In a matter of a few seconds, like 10 seconds. It runs all the way up to 109.70s. And then starts to leak going into the end of the day. And then that's last night. It's still leaking. And it's still leaking. Now we're getting close, let's put it that way, down to the right there it got to what is that? That is 10, that's 109, that's 45 right there. So it was only 15 pips. And then they rallied it back up to 109.70 again. And here we are now at, we've drifted down again to the 109. You can see it there. It says 109.47. But it started off at 109.30. So it's almost like cleaning it out, draining that noise that occurred, which is Okay. From there, where do we go from there? We go from there to, where should we go? There. Oh, look at that. That's the Dow Jones. This is the S&P 500 on an intraday, and on Friday, from that news, they took it down to there. And that, oh no. Let's get a better look to it right there. There we are. So on Friday, they took that down at that same situation where the news came out right here in this area here. Remember, they released the news a little bit earlier for reporters and so forth. And I think they sell it to some funds too early. But anyway, the end result is that they sold it down and they lifted it back up, and then it failed again and went down, made new lows. Today, they're making new lows down in here, and now they're trying to bounce it up again. And so I would say that there's an enormous amount of mixed messaging going on, from the price action. Matter of fact, that could be a really good title today. Mixed. Let's see, how do I describe that again? Price action reflects. Market price action reflects confusion. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yep, I think that's the best way to describe it. I'm trying to get to it right now, so I can do that. I can exit out, because I think I want to put that in there, and I don't want to forget it. And we have to come up with a title in 25 minutes. So why not that one? I think I'm going to write that in, and then I won't transmit it until. But I think that's a good way of describing it. Oh, how did I say it again? Market action reflects confusion. And again, summer months too. And I guess that's the best way to describe it all. All right, let's go back to the currencies. Now, let me put that up there. We go over to the yen. The yen has been a very fascinating product to follow. We've been following the yen lately through 3 different pairs trades. We've been watching it through the British pound, through the euro, and through the dollar. And the dollar is the underperformer. So in many ways, we're using, using the how's the best way to describe it? The 3 pairs not looking at, let's say, dollar cable or dollar euro, but instead we're looking at it how, the second largest, maybe the second largest economy in the world. Third largest economy in the world. United States 1, European Union 2, and then Japan 3. Also, it's the third most active currency in the world. So that's another thing. So it's definitely not like a thin product. It actually has some gravitas, some weight to it. Reflects confusion. There we go. All right, good. I got it typed in. This way, at the end of the webinar, if I'm trying to figure out what the title's going to be, we got it. There we go. All right, yeah. So you see here on the dollar yen, you see we're in a daily sell for 3 days. So in other words, it's gaining against the dollar. You can see we've been in a weekly buy for a while, right there. Let's go with this mouse right there and go like that. See that right there? That's where it went into the weekly buy. Now let's put it up on J4X. And there it is right there. See the last couple of days rolling over the same way as we have been. Let's move that over a little bit more. And then we go over and we look at Euro, where's it? Euro yen. So there it is right there. You see, so this is the euro, and that's the yen. And so when this is going down, the euro is losing against the yen. You can see it's been on a long ride up from the 146 area to the 158 area, and lately it's been showing some strength, the yen. And then we go over and we look at it at the cable. Your GBP JPY. Same situation, pushed in a sell 3 days ago, and it's also been in a long ride on the weekly. Look at that, all the way back into March. And when we go back to just, I didn't even look at the euro one. Let's look at the euro one right there. It's went into the weekly buy in, I guess you could say, the fast broke in there at the end of March, and the slow got in there like, what's that? Almost middle or beginning side of April. 10 days in or something like that. What's that? That's the 12th. So that's the fascinating part. And let's go back to the dollar yen. And that has been in a buy since May. And fell into the sell in March, which is where you have this, where it's gaining against the dollar. But notice it was upwardly with higher lows and so forth, hanging more in a daily buy. There was a loser chicken dinner there. Pushed into a sell. And no, that was a win. Then you get into a buy, you can't take that. And then where's the next sell? Right there. There's a sell that gives up some profits. And then there's another, you can't, now we're in the long side of it. It's telling you to be long on the buys, starting off there. But this is a winner, a winner, a winner, a small winner, a winner. And in this case here, that last big long buy, now it's in a sell. It's warning us, obviously, from here, from the 44 area, and now we're down at the 42-ish, to be careful. It's telling you not to be long, not to be short, just be neutral. Alrighty. So from there, we dance our way over to. And that's the way we look at the three of them. Now, what do we have up there now? Dollar. So let's go look at on J4X. I just want to see what this, see Euro, JPY right there. Same thing, it's rolling over on the daily there. And the same thing with GBP, JPY. So in other words, they are selling everything but the yen. The yen is being bought by all, three major currencies. All right. So from there, we go to what I always like to call the laboratory, the lab. And we go and take a look at the Euro Turkish Lira right there. Let's get it up on J4X. It's an inflation data week, too. That's what's going to be fun. But then unemployment was fun. So, let's see. Euro Turkish Lira right there. Boy, look at that flat line. Summertime, summertime, summertime. Indeed. And you can see lots of green on that daily. Whew. My goodness. Excuse me. Where are we at this point? I guess that, we've gone in and out a couple times. It did not make, it made an all-time high on Friday, but it's not making it there today so far. But it's flirting with that 30. It wants to hit that 30. Hit that puppy. And I guess when the inflation news comes out this week, maybe it will. Maybe it'll drive it hard over the 30 mark. All right. So from there, as I sip my tea, from the Turkish lira, we go over to the Mexican peso, the powerhouse. And I saw a really good stat. Where is it at? Let me see if I can find the stat. Right there. Ding. Let's see. Let's see if we can bring this over. Can I light one of these up? I guess not. So I got to go like this and bring it over that way. Look at that stat right there. They're looking at the what is it? The bull markets, I think they're talking about here. Let me just double check this. What is that? This is latest bull markets in the world, which is fascinating. And there it is right there. Colombia, let's widen that over more so you can see it, is at 58% since 10/21. Back in I guess it was the end of October to now. 58.1% Colombia, Hungary 38.9, Mexico 24.9, Thailand 19, Brazil 12, India 9.5, and the U.S. 6.1. I thought that was interesting. Now here's one that's talking about emerging markets carrying all before. In other words, trading and trades are beating even U.S. equities, and you can see here. Where's that at? Right there. Emerging values. Let's see that. There it is, right there. You see China's like at the bottom of it. You see India, U.S. Where's Mexico? There's Mexico. North America, developed world, emerging world, and look at China at the bottom of that. And then what else did we saw? But there was another one, imports into the States or something like that. Here you go. That when China joins the World Trade Organization, it leaps up, and you see that. And then Mexico, it says here, for the first time in 20 years, Mexico exports to the U.S. match China's exports. And this is a perfect example of why we call it the major brick. It's way more, not counting the fact it's an oil nation and produces 4 or 5 million barrels a day. And so Mexico is a major powerhouse, and people just don't realize it. And now that they've talked about being part of the brick, Wow, that becomes the major brick. So we go over to there, we look at the Mexican peso, and you can see it right there. And let's get it up on J4X. Right there. Bing, 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 bing. There we are. A little odd pop. We thought that was going to be just a couple shots up. Already trying to generate a red. Not much here you can see. In a buy for 3 days. The weekly is trying to turn up. Maybe they're going to bounce it. Again, I have no confidence and I have no conviction of this market being anything more than just a simple summer market chasing after fundamental news that doesn't really have much to say. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from there? Let's head over to. We go to the South African Rand, the second most powerful brick. Right there. It's doing the same thing, lifting up. In other words, they're both losing against the dollar at the moment. The weekly is feeling the pressure there. You see that. It's trying to get into a buy, which is kind of bad usually for gold. And as we've always mentioned here, and let's show it to you again. Gold did go into a daily buy on Friday. Right there, but it's in a weekly sell. And now it's trying to go right back into the sell as we speak. And you can see here it's been in a weekly sell since like the $2,050 area, and now we're flirting with the 1900 area. So, it doesn't have a lot of oomph. Now, the South African Rand, let's go back to that real quick here, but you can see the South African Rand. Do we have it up on J4X too? Let's get it up on J4X. There it is. Look at that. Leaning up in the wrong, on the bearish side of it all, losing against the dollar as it rises like that. And at the same time, we go over to here and tune into gold. And you can see gold has been doing the opposite. It's been going down, 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 down. So you get your squiggles, but overall the pressure is very negative, very, very negative. So. Matter of fact, someone mentioned that to me. Let's do this. Let's make a picture of this. I'm going to get rid of that box because it's just a distortion at this point. We thought it was going to be dead for a while, and it did, and now it's broken down. Let's save that. August gold. Bingo, bingo, bango. You just send this out to somebody that wanted to see it. They sent me a chart of gold over the weekend, and I meant to send them something and didn't get to it. There it is. Okay, we took care of that. With alrighty, so from there we go over to back to the currency, and we go and look at from the South African Rand, we go over to the Canadian dollar. And so you can see here the Canadian has been losing against the dollar for about 2 weeks now. You can see the weekly is trying to perk its head back up again. Again, summer doldrums. That's the only way I look at it. Let's put it up over on J4X. Right there. And there's the daily. Just chopping along. And then what we do is we look at the oil market. In other words, when this thing's going up, we always assume oil has been going down. So we go over to the oil market. Let's take a look at that nice front month right there, and it's doing the opposite. It's not going down. It's supposed to be going down. If the Canadian, let's put the Canadians up on the screen there. Canadian's been losing against the dollar. Normally, it goes down. So, that it's a combination there of the interest rates and the inflation. And this is an inflation week. They're going to be releasing their inflation numbers. We're going to be releasing ours. This could be a noisy, again, sloppy and noisy. That's the way I look at it. Sloppy and noisy. All right. So from there, let's see, where do we go from there? Well, that does it, basically. That does the end of the currencies, unless someone wants to see something. And so what we'll do is we'll go and look at the rest of the energies, and then we'll go and finish off with the metals. We'll take a look at silver and things like that. So there's the front month, 73.36. The back month, October, 72.83. So we're looking at almost a 50 some odd cent premium now. In other words, money is running towards delivery. They want to take it. They need it to process or whatever. And then from there, we go over to natural gas. And let's also do this. Let's put Brent up on J4X. There it is right there. And trading in the 70s. And you see it's been climbing and climbing and climbing. And we're not seeing that weakness in the other. That's the odd part. So from there, we go to the natural gas, and there's nat gas. You see, it's trying to get into the buy today. It's been in a weekly buy since basically the $2.50 area over in Europe. The only way we can basically get a flavor of it, here it is in the American product. Where's the nat gas? Right there. And we see it's trading at $2.60 some odd cents now. It's actually 66. That's what that is. 2.661. Then they break it down, and then it gets up. They break a penny down into a tenth. And so it's $2.65 70 bid with an offer of $2.66 60.2. Then we go over to the only way we can get a visual, and it has had a really interesting move on the downside, and we look at it right here. Where is it at? The energy company down in Spain. We follow its stock, and its stock seems to be very relatable to the way it trades in Europe. So around $25 instead of $2. And you can see here the pressure on it the last 4 days. We've gone from 27.5 down to 25 or 27. Yeah, it says what is that? 27.5 to 25.8. So it's been a real good push on the downside. And then when we look at American natural gas, it's been sideways, I think. Let's get it back up on the screen. Oh, you know what? We'll leave it on there just to show you that. And then let's just do it right there. You can see it's also been moving down over the last, there's the last 4 days, and it's giving a little pop today. And but overall, it's been moving down just like the way it is in Europe. Not bad. So from there, we're going to slide over to silver. There's silver. You can see silver went into a buy the way gold went into the buy right there on Friday. That little pop had an effect everywhere, the currencies and the stock market and the metals. And then you can see at the same time silver trying to get back into the sell now. It's in a weekly sell for 3 full weeks, going on a 4th, whereas gold, as you can see there, it's been in a sell for 2, where's it at? I think that's over here like that. There you are. And it's in a sell for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 10 weeks. This is the 10th week starting in a sell. And then from there, we go and take a look at copper. Copper, way off the highs of $4.20 just back in April, is now, where it went down to below 360, lost 60 cents. Tried to climb up, failed. It's breaking down more, and we've got the weekly flirting with a sell this week. See what that brings. Let's put it up on J4X. Copper. Right there. You can see that pressure on it. Pushing down, 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 down. And then, what else we got going here? So then from there, we go over to platinum. Oh, we don't have platinum on this. That's right. All right, so we'll leave the copper up there. And you know what, dude? More than that is, you can see that we'll leave this up and look at all three metals compared to platinum. Platinum seems to be the leader, but it's not showing the price action itself. Now it's trying to lift up a little bit today. It looks like it failed at getting to the weekly buy there, or daily buy, not weekly. And so let's just give that a reload to see if it'll straighten itself out. And so you can see that pressure on it, and you can see that downwardly slope we've seen since June for there. And then when we go over and look at, let's see, what is that? That is June 22nd. You see there's the beginning of June. So it started to slide in April, and it's, and it fell down. It's had a nice pop there. And whereas platinum didn't have much of a pop at all. And then when we look at, say, gold, right there, same situation, had a nice little pop, but not enough. And then we look at it through the eyes of silver. That is silver. I'm sorry, that's silver. So you see silver had a little bit more pop. Now gold I don't think did. I think gold was pretty much like the way it is here. It's over in here. It's been more sliding down. So, platinum, let's go back to the platinum right here. And platinum topped out in May. Let's see if we can get back even further. It was $1,150. Yeah. So in the middle of April, it topped out at $1,150. It's down, what is that? That's like 17%, 16%, something like that, 17%. So it's taken a nice nosedive there. And went into that weekly sell up in here in the 1075 area and has not let go. And every time it does that, it becomes even more of a problem. Not price-wise, where most metals traders are still stunned that platinum is not outperforming gold whatsoever, and it's actually trading at a discount of over $1,000, which is, forever and ever it's been the other way around. But now we see is that it can't even get, it can't even go to parity, not even close to parity. But it does seem to lead in direction. That's the thing. Not in price, but in direction. All right. All right, from there, that pretty much does the metals. And so, and let me do this. Let me save that platinum. Cancel. Move that down like so, right there. There we go. And so platinum is pretty much just hanging out there. Platinum, platinum, platinum. Where are you, platinum? Right there. Saved. So from there, we go over to the stock indices to finish it off. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes still. 3-4 minutes, something like that. You can see the stock market has chosen to just stumble and bumble and not have much direction at this point. Let's see, what else we got here? let's see. That's the S&P and intraday. It tried to get up to Friday's close and seemed to fail a little bit at it, but we're in a daily buy on this one right there, so we'll see. On a shorter term basis, that's the longest term of our intraday charts. And this is the shorter term, and you can see we're in a daily sell at the moment from the 33.5 area. Only got down to 31 barely. So there's not that much action. It's just kind of stumbling and bumbling along. I don't really see much more than that. Anyhow, let's see. What else can you say about any of these things? I don't really have much. I don't have much more an opinion. Just that you can see the stock market doesn't seem to want to give up. And again, because of this, because of what do you call it? That the overall, it's trying to bounce off of this low of 4,410. We were saying last week, I'd be surprised to see it break the 4,350 area, really. So, all they're doing is correcting it. They're adjusting for the potential for, inflation this week, possibly, that type of thing. But overall, nothing more than that. All right. I still like that title I've come up with, so I'm going to stay with that. That's no problem at all. I'm going to just kind of go through a couple of pictures here because, we'll look at, let's go look at the Tech 100 and the S&P just to see the action. You can see there's the S&P, 3 days in a sell, nothing major, hanging way up in here, not challenging any of these lows for the last month and a half. And then from there, you go over to the NASDAQ 100 right there. Now that's got to be fixed. Let's see what we can do about fixing that. Since that red line is there, and when I go and look at, let's see, where's that at? I guess if we go like this, to right there. It still looks screwy. And we go back to, let's see. When I take the exchange chart, it doesn't match up to the exchange chart at all. That's what's so confusing about it. And let's do this. Let's reload that thing. We'll have to work on that. All right, traders. Looks like we're at the end of the road. No one seems to care. So we will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Let's watch for the inflation this week. It'll be interesting to see. Ta-ta for now.